Leadership is stressful. You have a plan, you know where you're going, but there's this tension to manage. There's this tension between long-term goals and short-term goals. And it's always a tension of being effective and being productive and executing. Hi, my name is Randy Wheeler with Wheeler Coaching, and today I'm going to unpack for you how do we balance these long-term and short-term goals that we have in our leadership and in our organization and in our lives personally. And the first idea I want to share with you is this idea that we need a rhythm. We need a rhythm of accountability. So in your organization, I hope that you have some type of meeting rhythm. Now, this is not for the time to unpack meetings incomplete, but hopefully your meetings have purpose and they have an agenda. But there's different meeting rhythms you may want to get on. One may be just a daily huddle where you're just standing up and you're meeting and you're kind of getting all on the same page for what's going on for the day. Another meeting may be a weekly meeting, and this may be a little more in depth where you're going and reporting out on how you're doing on different goals. And then a third meeting may be a quarterly strategic meeting, as well as an annual strategic meeting. That's where you're diving deeper for a longer period of time. There's a client that I work with, and we work through those different meetings. I directly help them with some of them, and some of them they just do on their own. But what that does is it keeps in front of you the goals, the long-term goals and the short-term goals. I think of it like a sports team. They have some type of timeout or some type of huddle to see if they're on track for their goals. A second idea that you may want to consider is make it visual. Just like going back to the sports idea, there's a scoreboard, right? And if you and I, we went somewhere and we were playing darts, we'd have to have a dartboard to know if we were accomplishing the goal. Otherwise, we're just throwing darts at a wall, and though that might be fun if we like to destroy things, it would get boring pretty quick, and we'd lose focus. For our teams in our organization, create some type of visual scoreboard. Maybe you're leading a sales team and you want to hit a certain number of sales. Create like a thermometer and then highlight as you get closer and closer. You could even make it competitive in different members of the team, how they're doing in comparison to the overall goal and how the team is working together. Again, that's another video for another day. So a third idea for you is defining deadlines. You want to define the deadlines. So the purpose of having long and short-term goals is they give us a target to go towards. But it's kind of like climbing the stairs. Where I live, there's this huge monument in the middle of downtown, and you can climb all the way up to the very top. And as you're going up to the very top, it's like it winds around and you hit certain benchmarks. And as you hit certain benchmarks, you know if you're getting closer to the goal. It's no different for our team. If you have a big project that your team is working on, that long-term goal of here's what we want to accomplish, this is the project, the outcome we're trying to accomplish. But having deadlines along the way will be short-term goals to keep them on track. Little benchmarks to celebrate progress for. So looking at these three areas, which of these do you need to work at? Do you need to create a rhythm of accountability through meetings? Maybe you need to add a daily huddle, a weekly meeting, or a quarterly meeting. Do you need to make something visual to keep those goals in front of the team? Or do you need to just define deadlines so people know how they're making progress? Whichever it is, I encourage you to work on it this week. Don't just listen to this, but put it into action. And if you found this helpful, please share it with other people. And if you're not getting this directly to your email inbox, go to wheelercoachingsystems.com, scroll down, sign up for a free leadership ebook, and get content like this directly to your email inbox. Hey, set those goals, make those benchmarks, have those meetings, and continue to work towards your goal to accomplishing the vision that you're leading your team forward. Have a fantastic day and lead well.